Hello everyone, Tanak here. Welcome to episode 94 of Building My Industrial Empire in EVE Online. We will start with the progress report. As you can see, my net worth plus that of the corporation are now at the 221 billion ISK. If you look at the tracker here, you can see that this is a drop compared to last week, and you can see that it's a drop here compared to last week. Where does that drop come from? In part from my own wealth, which I don't understand because I didn't lose anything this week, but it's probably just asset prices moving. And there is like a big enough drop on toy company. The reason is that actually I'll show you on the map right now. There is currently in our constellation an incursion, which means that there are incursion ship at the gates and incursion ships in the system. So we can't really rat. We didn't have any significant source of income this week, aside from people going outside of WOMP space. And what it did is it means that, well, basically it's very little income coming in, and at the same time we do have fuel cost for our station, and we do have it's the week that we pay our coalition SRP, so all that added together, it means that there is a little drop this week. Normally this incursion is ending in 2 days, which mean that we will jump back and start working toward making that time back. So that's it for the financial. So obviously, well, not a very good week, but nothing dramatic either. It's not like we didn't suffer any losses, any significant loss aside from stuff that member lost on coalition fleet. HR, let's go back to HR here. You can see that we are now at 342 members, so that's a +7 compared to last week. So again, a little bit of progression. Our number online have been earning a little bit this week. There is the reason being the incursion that we're having right now. So you can see that a lot of people are either doing well, like right now you see that I'm in Torino, so I'm just moving stuff around in ISEC, and we're pretty much being played the ping warrior this week, jumping in whenever there's a coalition fleet, but the rest of the time, since we can't really use our space, we could fight the incursion, but we were not ready for that. So all in all, there's less player online than usual. Hopefully we're gonna push hard, like the leadership crew, to get people back online after that incursion is over, so people had a break and that, well, basically you can see that as a little bit of a vacation. We still do have people 24/7. It's just not the same number that we usually have. War. I don't have any big battle report to show you this week. There was a lot of structure bashing. I personally, they were mostly outside of my time zone, but if you see from our kill board, we did some Oracle kill. We did so that's some whaling, structure bash against Black Rose mostly. So all in all, pretty good. But if you look at all time, we're at 43% dangerous, so we got a point, but we got a very good week at 63% dangerous. Recently not as good, but week, if you count the entire week, 63% dangerous, which is pretty better than what we usually get. So all in all, there is progression. Like our active in PvP player dropped a little bit this week again because we can't use our space. Hopefully this will pick up next week. That's what we're hoping. Aside from that, we did have a big Poco Bash. Okay, we have an since we're having an incursion in the system, it means that there's incursion rat on gate, which typically isn't that bad because you can warp off. But there is a few guys from a tricky situation, or one guy with all, I'm not sure, who tried to hinder our progress or whatever. I don't know why he's doing that, but he's anchoring bubble at the gate. So people jump the gate and are stuck in a bubble, and then they get killed by the incursion rat. So we have been doing a lot of cleaning those bubbles, and we found out where he was hiding because he anchored a POS in one of our system, and he did have a few ships in there. So we bashed the POS and actually took one of his Sunesis with a few of his bubble in there. So that was, I was there for the POS bashing. So again, content, different content than what we usually get. So all in all, I mean, it did give us something to do in our pocket, just cleaning those bubble and shooting his POS. So all in all, that was an interesting side quest in this week activity. Industry, well, you can we see in Evi's that we're still, like, by far the biggest industrial hub in Catch. Again, we didn't have any major deployment this week, so we didn't add to our infrastructure. We do have a roadmap that we want to push ahead. We're not incurring structure while there is an incursion running, so that will probably start back. We're gonna start moving ahead through our roadmap next week. So that's pretty much it. So industry was not our biggest week. Again, it's just that little incursion system in our entire constellation is actually impacting our activity significantly. The plan is to be ready next time to have incursion and actually be able to run these incursion sites for good profit and to clean it out faster. So that's the goal for next time, but we got caught not being prepared for that. And by the time we got people into the ship that we needed, because you still need to clean those incursion rats, you need some pretty heavy material to be able to do those sites. So anyway, so that's for the industry part. Aside from that, Tanak is getting close to 60 million skill point. I'm working toward T2 heavy laser to get into a paladin, just to try to get a better riding tick in the pocket when I can. Here I'm just showing off because I told you that I wanted to show you the skin I got for the second marshal. I sold my second marshal, but I still have my first one. Since I have time to go out of the pocket, I'm just doing logistic, picking up stuff that I had all over the place, moving stuff around. I wanted to show you that little kick-ass recruiter skin, which is pretty sweet. So that's pretty much it. Actually, it was a slow week for me, personally in game. Not because I don't want to play, because I do have a lot of stuff to do real life, and circumstances in the game made it not easy to just log in and do half an hour of content and do something else. So I kind of took it easy this week. Hopefully the incursion is supposed to end Sunday. We will be a lot more active, obviously, when that ends. Hope you guys enjoy. If you got any question, any comments, feel free to ask. I know this series has been getting a little repetitive right now because we are in a situation where there's not as much, I'm not as involved politically that I was when I was going fully independent. We are working toward having some more interesting content to put forward. So see that in a couple of weeks. So hope you guys enjoy, and see you all next week. Bye bye.